The Scribe of Counter-Earth. The Man Behind the Books. A story of John Norman, Gore, and the fans who kept the world alive.
The desert spoke to him one night, a copper sun, a sword of light, a city rising from the sand. Later built the story with trembling hand. He wrote of warriors, wrote of steel, of Kajirai who kneel and feel a world that time forgot to tame, and the old man signed the stranger's name. Go the counter-earth, where every soul must prove their worth, where steel is true and blood is red, and the old world lives when the old man's dead. Go, the stars are cold, but the stories never grow old. From Mars to the vast wide shore, God lives on forevermore. Another desk, another night, a younger hand picks up the fight. He writes of falls and rebirths too, of Korea wars and cities new. He doesn't write for gold or fame. He writes because he knows the name is just a flag. The world is more. He's building what the old man tore. Gore the counter-earth, where every soul must prove their worth, where steel is true and blood is red, and the old world lives when the old man's dead. Gore, the stars are cold, but the stories never grow old. From Mars to the vast wide shore, God lives on forevermore. He doesn't write anymore, but someone does somewhere in a small room at an old desk. The pen moves, the world breathes, and Gore still waits.
Prologue: The Dream. Princeton, New Jersey, 1952. The young man dreams of a desert. He is standing on a dune. The sun is setting not orange but copper, like a shield heated in a forge. Behind him, mountains rise sharp and black. Before him, a city of white stone glows in the fading light. He hears a voice, not his own, deeper, older. You will build this place. He wakes up. His name is John Frederick Lange, Jr. He is 21 years old. He is a graduate student in philosophy at Princeton. He has never written fiction in his life. He sits up in bed. His heart is pounding. His hands are shaking. He reaches for a notebook. He writes, "I watched her, of course. She was a slave." He does not know why, but that sentence will follow him for the rest of his life. Part 1. The Boy Who Read Too Much. Chicago, Illinois, 1930s. John Frederick Lange, Jr., is 7 years old. He is small for his age. He wears glasses. He does not like baseball. What he likes are stories, not the gentle ones, not the ones about talking animals and happy endings. He likes the old stories, the Greek myths, the Norse sagas, the tales of Troy, where men die with swords in their hands and women wait on walls. His mother finds him reading Homer at the kitchen table. "Johnny, that's in Greek." "I know," he says, "I'm learning it." His mother does not know whether to be proud or frightened. His father knows. His father is frightened. "He's strange," his father says to his mother late at night when they think John cannot hear. "He lives in his head too much. The world will eat him alive." His mother says nothing. She just knits. John hears them. He pretends not to. He goes back to his book. Fact: John Norman's real name is John Frederick Lange, Jr. He was born in Chicago in 1931. He earned a Ph.D. in philosophy from Princeton in 1957. His dissertation was on the master-slave dialectic in Hegel. The seeds of gore were planted in those pages. Part 2. The Student. Princeton, New Jersey, 1950s. John Lange is 23. He is a doctoral student in philosophy. He has read everything: Plato, Aristotle, Kant, Hegel, Nietzsche, Heidegger. He has a favorite, Nietzsche. The other students think Nietzsche is dangerous. They think he is a gateway to fascism, to nihilism, to madness. John thinks Nietzsche is honest. "The will to power," Nietzsche wrote, "is not the will to dominate. It is the will to become, to grow, to overcome." John reads this and feels something unlock in his chest. "Yes," he whispers, "that's what's missing, the becoming." He writes his dissertation on Hegel's master-slave dialectic. He argues that freedom is not the highest good, recognition is. A slave who is seen by his master has more being than a free man who is ignored. His advisor reads the dissertation. He is silent for a long time. "This is brilliant," he says finally. "And dangerous." John smiles. "That's why it's true." Fact: Norman's academic work directly influenced Gore. The relationship between masters and slaves on Counter-Earth is a dramatization of Hegel's dialectic. Norman himself has said that Gore is a philosophical novel, not just an adventure series. Part 3. The Professor. Queens, New York, 1960s. Dr. John Frederick Lange, Jr., is 34. He teaches Introduction to Philosophy at Queens College. He wears tweed jackets with elbow patches. He drinks his coffee black. He is married to a woman named Bernice. They have 3 children. He is respected, but he is not seen. His students take notes. They memorize the arguments. They pass the exams, but they do not feel the philosophy. They do not live it. One day, a student raises her hand. "Professor Lange, what does any of this have to do with us?" John stares at her. "With us?" "Yes, with our lives, with love, with fear, with being human." John opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. I don't know," he says. That night he cannot sleep. He sits in his study. The room is dark. The window looks out on a quiet street in Queens. Somewhere a dog barks. Somewhere a car passes. He thinks about the student's question. What does philosophy have to do with being human? He thinks about the dream he had years ago. The desert, the copper sun, the voice. "You will build this place." He reaches for a pen. He writes, "I watched her, of course. She was a slave." He writes until dawn. Fact: Norman taught philosophy at Queens College for over 30 years. He retired in the 1990s. Many of his students never knew that their professor was the creator of gore. He kept his two lives separate. Part 4, The World. Queens, New York, 1965. The book is finished. John calls it Tarnsman of Gore. He publishes it under a pseudonym, John Norman, because he does not want his colleagues to know. Philosophers do not write adventure novels. Philosophers do not write about slave girls and warrior kings, but John Norman does. The book is published in 1966 by Ballantine Books. The cover shows a muscular man in a leather harness holding a sword. Behind him, a woman in a torn dress kneels in the dust. John holds the book in his hands. He feels something he has not felt in years: joy, not the quiet joy of a solved equation, the loud joy of a created world. He reads the first sentence aloud. I watched her, of course. She was a slave. He smiles. Welcome to Gore, he whispers. Fact, Tarnsman of Gore was published as a mass-market paperback. It sold well enough that Ballantine commissioned sequels. Norman wrote 33 books in the main Gore series and several more in spin-offs. The series is still in print today. Part 5, The Reaction. The reviews come in. Some are good, some are bad, some are furious. A fascinating exploration of a primitive society, writes one critic. A misogynistic fantasy for men who fear women, writes another. The sexiest thing I've ever read, whispers a third. John reads them all. He does not know how to feel. They don't understand, he thinks. It's not about sex. It's about power. It's about freedom. It's about what happens when you strip away everything soft and ask, what is left? But he does not explain. He does not defend. He just writes the next book. Outlaw of Gore, 1967, Priest Kings of Gore, 1968, Nomads of Gore, 1969, Assassin of Gore, 1970, Raiders of Gore, 1971, The World Grows, the fans multiply. The critics sharpen their knives. John keeps writing. Fact, the Gore series has sold over 20 million copies worldwide. It has been translated into more than a dozen languages. Despite decades of criticism, the books have never gone out of print. Part 6, The Contradiction. Queens, New York, 1970s. John Norman is now a phenomenon. His books have sold millions. He has fans who write him letters, long, passionate letters about how Gore changed their lives. He also has enemies. Feminists picket his readings. Colleagues avoid him at faculty parties. His wife, Bernice, says nothing, but her silence is loud. One night she asks him, "Do you really believe this stuff?" "What stuff?" "That women want to be slaves, that men want to own them." John is silent for a long time. "I don't know," he says finally. I just wanted to build a world where the questions are honest, where the answers are hard, where no one hides." Bernice looks at him. Her eyes are sad. "And what about us, John? Do we hide?" He does not answer. He goes to his study. He closes the door. He writes. Fact, Norman has always claimed that Gore is not a blueprint for reality. He says it is a thought experiment, a world where certain philosophical ideas are played out to their logical extremes. Critics call this a defense mechanism. Fans call it the truth. Norman himself has never fully clarified. Part 7, The Confession. Queens, New York, 1980s. John is in his 50s now. His hair is mostly gray. His hands shake sometimes. He still writes. He still teaches. He still wears tweed jackets with elbow patches. One night, alone in his study, he looks at the map of Gore on his wall, the continent he drew himself. The mountains, the rivers, the cities, are Thentes, Port Car, the Voltai Range, the Vosk River. He thinks about Tarl Cabot, the man he created, the man who is more real to him than some of his colleagues. He thinks about the cadre, the women who kneel, who serve, who surrender. He thinks about his own life, the lectures, the committees, the faculty meetings, the polite conversations about parking permits, and he thinks, I built a world where I am free, where I am strong, where I am seen. Is that wrong? Is that pathetic? Or is that just human? He does not know the answer. He goes to bed. He dreams of Counter-Earth. Fact, Norman has said in interviews that Tarl Cabot is not a self-insert, but many readers disagree. Tarl is a philosopher warrior, a man who questions the world even as he lives in it. That sounds very much like a philosophy professor from Queens. Part 8, The Legacy. Queens, New York, 1990s and 2000s. John Norman is in his 60s and 70s now. His hair is white. His hands shake when he writes, but he still writes. The world has changed. Gore is still there. Millions of readers. A Second Life community that has thrived for over 15 years. Thousands of fan websites. Hundreds of arguments about what Gore really means. John does not argue anymore. He just writes. One day, a young woman visits him. She is a PhD student writing a dissertation about Gore. She asks him, Professor Norman, do you regret it, the controversy, the anger, the people who hate you? John is silent for a long time. Then he says, no. Why not? Because I told the truth, not the truth, my truth, and that's all any writer can do. The young woman nods. She writes something in her notebook. John looks out the window. The street is quiet. The neighbors are watching television. He thinks about the dream, the desert, the copper sun, the voice. You will build this place. He smiles. I did, he whispers. I built it. Fact, the Second Life Gore community has thousands of active players. They have built entire cities, developed complex role-playing systems, and kept the world alive for nearly 2 decades. Many of them have never read all the books, but they love Gore. Part 9, The Fans, a Chorus. Fandom 2000s to present. The fans are everywhere. They are in Second Life, walking the streets of R in virtual leather. They are on Reddit, arguing about whether cadre can ever truly be free. They are in small Discord servers, writing their own stories, building their own characters, falling in love with their own versions of Gore. Some of them are men who dream of being warriors. Some of them are women who dream of being free or of surrendering. Some of them are just readers who love a good adventure story. They do not all agree. They do not all get along, but they share one thing. Gore matters to them. One fan writes on a forum, I discovered Gore when I was 17. I was lonely. I was confused. I didn't know who I was, but Tarl Cabot, he knew. He always knew. Gore gave me a map when I had none. Another fan writes, I hate the politics of Gore. I hate the sexism. But I love the world. I love the cities, the rivers, the mountains. I love the idea of a place where life is hard and honest. I take what I need and leave the rest. A third fan says nothing. She just plays her Kajira in Second Life day after day, year after year. She has found something there she never found in the real world, belonging. The fans keep Gore alive, not John Norman. The fans. Fact, the Gore fandom is one of the most passionate and divided in all of science fiction. Some fans see the books as a philosophical masterpiece. Others see them as guilty pleasure. Some have created entire alternative versions of Gore, more feminist, more egalitarian, more queer. The world is big enough for all of them. Part 10, The Invisible Scribes. Somewhere in the world, present day. John Norman is over 90 years old. He lives somewhere, perhaps in Queens, perhaps in Florida, perhaps in a small town no one has heard of. His exact location is not public. His family protects his privacy. He does not write anymore, but the books continue to appear. New Gore novels are published under the name John Norman. Some are reprints of old material. Some are new. Some are written by others, ghostwriters, collaborators, fans who have become creators. The publisher does not talk about it. The fans do not ask too many questions, because the truth is Gore is bigger than one man. John Norman built the house, but others live in it. Others add rooms. Others repair the roof when it leaks. Fact, in recent years, new Gore books have been published that were not written by Norman. The exact authorship is unclear. Some are compilations of old material. Others are new works written in Norman's style. The publisher does not disclose details. The fans speculate, but they keep reading. Part 11, The New Scribe, A Quiet Portrait. Somewhere in a small apartment, late night. A man sits at a desk. His name is not important. He is not famous. He will never be famous. He writes. He writes about Gore. He writes Fall of Gore, the end of the old world. The burning of R, the fall of Port Carr. The last stand of an aging Tarl Cabot who does not win but who makes sure something survives. No longer the old Gore, now the Gore after the Great War. The Gore that rose from the ashes of the Curii invasion. The Gore where new cities grow and old heroes rest. He writes chronicles of a reborn Gore, the new world. Decades later, new heroes, new rules, women in the councils, new castes. A young man who finds an old sword and asks, "What does it mean to be a warrior now?" He writes because he must, because the story is in his head, because Gore is not finished. He does not write for money. He does not write for fame. He writes for the fans, the ones who will never know his name but who will feel the joy when they read his books. He writes because John Norman is old now and someone has to keep the fire burning. He writes because he loves Gore. That is enough. Epilogue, The Old Man's Smile. Somewhere present day. John Norman sits in an armchair. He is over 90. His hair is white. His hands rest on a blanket. He does not write anymore, but sometimes late at night he smiles. He does not know about the man in the small apartment. He does not know about Fall of Gore or Chronicles of a Reborn Gore. He does not know about the Second Life cities or the Discord servers or the fans who argue about Kadjuri, but he feels something, a warmth, a sense that his world is not dead. "They're still writing," he whispers. "They're still writing." He closes his eyes. He dreams of the desert, the copper sun, the voice. "You built this place," the voice says, "and now others walk in it." John smiles. "Good," he whispers, "that's good." He falls asleep, and Gore lives on, the end. But Gore is never finished, and neither is John Norman, and neither are the invisible scribes who keep the dream alive.